Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted sex trafficker and Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirator, had a letter posted on her behalf by her family, demanding that Donald Trump pardon her or she be given a new trial based on the Trump publicly stating and posting online that the Epstein story is a hoax. We're covering that in this week's The Stand-In. Ghislaine Maxwell's family is asking for a presidential pardon on a new trial based on Donald Trump's claim that the Epstein files, list, and investigations are all a hoax. They say they didn't have access to that information during her original trial. Basically, because Trump now claims the entire Epstein investigation was made up by James Comey, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton, Ghislaine Maxwell says, "Your Honor, I was framed by the deep state, the Clintons, and my very own diary." To make it even more interesting, Trump has fired the lead prosecutor in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, where she was convicted and sentenced to over 20 years for child sex trafficking. The prosecutor? Maureen Comey. Yes, that Comey. The same Maureen Comey who also prosecuted Epstein, and, most recently, the P. Diddy case. So, apparently she's on the rich and creepy beat. Also, she just happens to be the daughter of James Comey, the same James Comey Trump says invented the Epstein hoax. So either Maureen Comey was fired because she's James Comey's daughter, or she was fired for prosecuting Epstein and his accomplices, which feels less like a Department of Justice and more like a Department of don't touch my friends. A few days before that, Trump was asked if he'd appoint a special counsel to investigate the Epstein case, and he responded,
President Trump, would you consider appointing a special counsel to investigate the Jeffrey Epstein investigation?
I have nothing to do with it.
Which is classic Trump code for, oh, I definitely have something to do with it. Meanwhile, Attorney General Pam Bondi, the top person at the DOJ, said last week the Epstein list doesn't exist and the investigation is closed. Then Trump said it does exist, but it was created by Comey, Obama, Biden, and a dream team of ghosts from the 2008 DNC. We're 1 week away from him blaming Epstein's suicide on Hunter Biden's laptop. Let's also remember, when Trump ran for president the first time, he made Epstein a major part of his campaign.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
And yet, he'd been best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for over a decade. Trump's Epstein strategy was basically, I don't know the guy, but also arrest him for everything I knew about 15 years ago. That matters because Mar-a-Lago was one of the locations Epstein and Maxwell used to recruit underage girls for trafficking. And we can say that on this show because it's not a conspiracy. It's evidence, submitted in court.
Virginia Roberts was working in the spa at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach when British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The training started immediately. I mean, it was everything down to how to give a blowjob. I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago.
So where are we now? Trump says there is a file. He's seen the file, and everything in the file about him is fake.
Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration, right? They've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me.
You ever tell on yourself and call it fake news at the same time? That's presidential multitasking. So, does Ghislaine Maxwell actually have a shot at a retrial? Let's run it down. Trump fired the lead prosecutor who would have blocked the retrial Trump directed the FBI to investigate, the hoax, and Ghislaine's legal team can now argue, the prosecutor who convicted me, her dad made up the crime, and she never told the judge. That's withholding exculpatory nepotism. And the judge could say, that's insane, but Maxwell could respond, those aren't my words, that came from the President of the United States, which, let's be honest, is the worst citation in American history. So I'd say she's got a 50-50 shot, but don't shoot the messenger. And as far as I'm concerned,
I have nothing to do with it.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps more than you know. I'm Margaret Starr. Bye!